Hello people, this is Moffatt from Kharischangeworks. Guys, hope you are well. In continuation with this pain and loss thing, I know someone, in fact I know a few people, but I'm thinking about someone very specific here, no names mentioned for confidentiality and embarrassment reasons, when they have dealt with pain, a pain of a broken relationship in particular. How it's affected this individual was that they were once very athletic and incredibly well put together. Let's just leave it at that. And incredibly attractive at that also. And long story short is this. Through the years of this person's dealing with some form of relationship breakdown and the effect that that had on the grief experience, this loss, was that they now, only in a very short 5, 6 years, 7 years, something like that, have now experienced anorexia. Going from a healthy, well put together individual to someone who is only being held together by their skin. It's a very sad story. Now, I don't know much about anorexia, and from the experiences that I've had with people who were heading down that line, the issue is that they are punishing themselves or punishing the other person, probably more accurately, by a overindulgent in sport and exercise and that kind of stuff, whilst also minimizing fuel intake, food. And what happens is the body goes into a state of, I need to deal with this thing, and it starts eating the muscles and the fat as fuel because the body needs fuel. And very often the person that might be a little bit plumpish might then see that they're trimming down and it's nice. So the mindset then changes to, well, if I continue, I'll become even more so. More people will notice me. More people will pay attention to me. Self-esteem, self-image issues bubbling up as they are on this particular journey. And before long, the empowered person that says, I can control what I'm eating, is now completely disempowered. And they can't necessarily stop this nonsense from continuing, and they are now in a world of pain. In some cases, it might be real physical cramps and pain. This individual, as I know, experienced physical pain only 18 months, 2 years ago, because of this process of not fueling the body properly. Sad story, that's for sure. So what am I saying here? Alcohol, drugs, gambling, overeating. Now the next one could be the vulnerability to eating disorders. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't think it's necessarily an issue of eating. I think it's a mindset issue that is stemmed from self-esteem issues, self-worth issues, and that is caused by this thing called pain. Sad. really sad. But the reality of it is that when dealing with this thing called grief and pain, we don't all choose the same path in how we deal with this thing. If it was that we will all be alcoholics, we would all be drug addicts, we would all be gamblers. No. This thing attacks us right at the place of vulnerability. And that is the core issue. We need to strengthen and become more resilient in the areas where we know we are slightly weaker. I've made a little playlist on resilience. Go check it out. It's pretty good. And I think once we become a more resilient as an individual and as a people, we'll be able to survive these grief periods and phases in our life a little bit easier. I'm not saying it won't affect us, because it certainly will. But instead of it overwhelming and swamping us, we'll be at least be more able to survive. That's the reality. At least that's my experience. So, I would like to hear your comments in the comments box regarding anorexia, and bulimia would go in the same kind of category, because oftentimes they are two sides of the same coin. Pain is a horrible thing to deal with. There is no two ways about it. Just horrible. And once you've experienced not the physical kind of pain, but this emotional pain, you'll appreciate what I'm saying. Also, as I mentioned on the little whiteboard, when you get through it all, the bonus is empathy is what you get, making it a little bit easier for you to appreciate the difficulties that the person that you might be speaking with is experiencing. It's a bonus. So please do all the YouTube admin, like, share, subscribe, comment, hit the bell pickle. Please tell all your friends and family about the channel. But for now, this is Mark from Kharischangeworks. I'll speak to you soon.